At least in India, we've just finished our general elections, and democracy in our country is synonymous, especially in our country, is synonymous to freedom, right? And the highest form of freedom is soul freedom. So let's today's chant is rise, O my soul, in freedom, nothing to fear anymore. Just like those airplane asanas that some people do. I'm sure that will enjoy Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. With soaring minds, soaring hearts, rising aspirations, let's bring the divine to our focus. Letting these vibrations of freedom, of expansion, and the joy that comes with it, let us pray together. Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
Heavenly Father,
Heavenly Father,
Friend, beloved God,
Friend, beloved God,
Great Masters,
Great Master,
Jesus Christ,
Jesus Christ,
Babaji Krishna,
Babaji Krishna,
Lahiri Mahashay,
Lahiri Mahasaya,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
Gurudev Shri Paramhans Yogananda,
Gurudev Shri Paramahansa Yogananda,
Saints of all religions,
Saints of all religions,
Friend and Guide Swami Kriyananda,
Friend and Guide Swami Kriyananda,
we humbly bow to you all.
we humbly bow to you all.
O Lord,
O Lord,
we soar towards freedom.
we soar towards freedom,
Hold our hands,
hold our hands,
be our wings,
be our wings,
take us home.
take us home.
May thy love
May thy love
shine forever
shine forever
at the sanctuary of our devotion,
at the sanctuary of our devotion,
and may we be able
and may we be able
to awaken thy love
to awaken thy love
in all hearts.
in all hearts.
Om. With spine straight, gaze uplifted, let's meditate and receive more deeply this freedom. Make it our own.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The affirmation that we will do today is on the topic of moral vigor. And many of you may wonder what has this got to do with freedom. But maybe after we do the affirmation together and after I read what Swami Kriyananda has to say about this topic, it will begin to make sense. Lack of moral vigor saps the will and makes the intellect sponge like, ready to absorb the prevalent opinion of the times. People with good intellects often suffer from the Hamlet complex, the inability to come to any decision or to commit oneself to anything. They justify their indecision by saying, I want to be fair to all sides. We're talking about democracy today, right? But even an imperfect action is better than no action at all. When you believe in something, stand by it. When you believe in someone, stand by him. Such loyal self commitment is a higher law than seeing all sides. Energy is needed to accomplish anything in life. With moral vigor, all things are possible. But without it, the end of every act is failure. So let's do the affirmation now, loudly at first. Repeat after me. The decisions that I make in life
The decisions that I make in life
come from within myself,
come from within myself,
from my sense for what is right.
from my sense for what is right.
I am committed to the truth
I am committed to the truth
and to channeling it outward to the world.
and to channeling it outward to the world.
Loudly once again, the decisions that I make in life
The decisions that I make in life
come from within myself,
come from within myself,
from my sense for what is right.
from my sense for what is right.
I am committed to the truth
I am committed to the truth
and to channeling it outward to the world.
and to channeling it outward to the world.
In a normal voice now, the decisions that I make in life
The decisions that I make in life
come from within myself,
come from within myself,
from my sense for what is right.
from my sense for what is right.
I am committed to the truth
I am committed to the truth
and to channeling it outward to the world.
and to channeling it outward to the world.
Softly now, the decisions that I make in life
The decisions that I make in life
come from within myself,
come from within myself,
from my sense for what is right.
from my sense for what is right.
I am committed to the truth
I am committed to the truth
and to channeling it outward to the world.
and channeling it outward to the world.
In a whisper now, the decisions that I make in life
The decisions that I make in life
come from within myself,
come from within myself,
from my sense for what is right.
from my sense for what is right.
I am committed to the truth
I am committed to the truth
and to channeling it outward to the world.
and to channeling it outward to the world.
Now, just one more time, taking the vibrations of this affirmation, each and every word, silently and mentally only, planting the seeds in our superconscious mind. Just mentally follow the decisions that I make in life come from within myself, from my sense for what is right. I am committed to the truth and to channeling it outward to the world. Let's now mentally offer this prayer. Divine Mother, with every action of my will, let me express thy divine vitality, thy truth, thy perfection. Let me live to serve thee alone, or else die in the attempt.
Okay. Am I audible? Of course. So, interesting topic today. So, the topic is democracy and spiritual growth. Now, I think first we should go into how we came at this topic. And I think that is quite interesting and important. Um, the elections were just getting over, and I also had traveled to my hometown to cast my vote with my family. Came back, and we were generally wondering, and I was just thinking that there's so much premium that we give to democracy, right? Worldwide, and especially in our country, hard won. Uh, but what is there? What democracy has to do about the spiritual path? Spiritual path, if it is an eternal path and it's supposed to be so important for us, right? It is everything at the end of the day. uh, then what about democracy there? I mean, if you look about, if you think about a guru's ashram, it just came to my mind that if you think about a guru's ashram, well, guruji says you have to do this, then you have to do it. There's no voting about it. A group of disciples can't gather and vote that, okay, Parthoji should be getting enlightenment today, Guruji, and then Guruji will say yes because you all have voted. Let me do it. I don't think it works like that. So it just got us thinking that, and it is not something on which much has been talked about, I think, right? So we thought, let's try to explore it and see how it comes, and what learnings especially can we derive from it. And um, so what are the elements of a democracy, right? First, if we can look at it, a democracy is essentially a group of people coming together to decide something, right? So in our case, usually we mean that we decide which government to elect at any level, national, state, whatever. But ultimately, it is about a group of people coming together and taking decisions together. So the first element which comes out from this entire process, for this process to be successful, the first element is cooperation. If there is no cooperation, if people cannot cannot acknowledge and at least first, as a first step, accept that okay, all of us together will cooperate and take this decision together, then there is no the democracy cannot function, because it is not something that can be enforced. People have to voluntarily agree and believe in this, right? And that is something which is very essential in every aspect of our life. This act of cooperation, of coming together, is if you look at it, is equally important, whether we are at home, whether we are at office. You have to, while at many times at homes or offices, things are told to people what to do, right? But for something to actually work, there has to be a meeting point of intentions. And that is where this concept of intentionally deciding what to do comes. In fact, the entire Ananda community system, it's that as master said, we should have these intentional communities. It should not be something which has just come about randomly. It is something where it has been decided that this is how we want things to be. We've all agreed that there are certain objectives that we need to achieve, and how do we best work together to achieving those objectives. There is also has to be this acceptance that people coming together can better help each other reach those objectives rather than individually. And that is where even the power of satsang comes in, the power of group meditation comes in. Group of people coming together, striving towards something together, intentionally, with a common objective. So this cooperation of, and this coming together of intentions is very important for the democracy to function. It is very important for a house to function, for an office to function, and of course for the spiritual path also. Especially if you talk about even an ashram where the guru's verdict is the final, these things are very important. Otherwise you always have those politics and undercurrents running. And harmony then is very important element, not just for democracy, but again for every aspect of life. harmony between people, harmony um, to work together, also to acknowledge and accept that okay, uh, we have decided to work together, there may be some differences, but let's still work together, and the process should be a joyful process. It should not be something that, there's while of course in vibrant democracy, especially in the political scene, there is a lot of tension, and one group against the other, etc. But at the end of the day, it is supposed to be alive. A democracy is supposed to be alive, a household is supposed to be alive, an office is supposed to be alive when there is that vibrancy and harmony, where even though there are differences of opinions, we recognize that we are working together, and we cannot move forward by just putting down one person or one group and always asserting that we are right. In fact, in if you read Swamiji's books on the cooperative communities, you would find that a very important element of that is how collective decision making can happen. So while, for example, in Ananda Swamiji may be like a guiding figure, people would look to him, but people would ultimately come together and try to come to a decision together. And even if some people believe that okay, this decision may not be the right, but that that friendship is more important than any decision being prevailing in any given instant. So that supremacy and that clarity, that harmony and friendship is much more important in the short run, in the medium run, in the long run, in all kinds of runs. It is very important. So for the time being, if you have to accept something to work with harmony, that is very important. No, these are some of the principles of working together, which are true for a vibrant democracy, and also if you look at it, if we are true for every aspect of life. uh, but as master said, any system to function well, ultimately it all boils down to the individuals. Nothing can be imposed. Even you cannot impose harmony, you cannot impose cooperation. It has to come from inside. Just like say, no, change begins at home, or change starts from your own self. Change yourself and you'll change the world. All these things are essentially coming from the fact that, as master said, eventually brotherhood in the world can come when people have, through their own internal perception and realization of God, have realized that we are all brothers. And that is when a true and deep brotherhood can come together. And if then it is the individual that we have to, that is important in this entire group of systems, then couple of very important things which are then pertaining to this individual. The first thing is, in a democracy, for an individual, the most important thing is you have the free will now, right? Which is the most important thing. Free will is something, one of the cornerstones of what even the creator has bestowed upon us. And that is why having that free will, even in a political system, is very important. And that is why democracy is said to be, after an evolution, now that we are in a higher age, we are ascending age, most of the systems are gradually changing into democratic systems. And this free will is important because it lets us choose, it lets us be. And also, what it means is then that you have to choose. Free will means there are no free passes now. You cannot abstain. Some of us may choose not to vote, but that is also a decision. As Shri Krishna has said in Gita, there is no inaction. So you have to choose. Free will comes with the burden of choice. There is no escaping it. And hence, if we have to choose, then consequently also comes the burden of responsibility, right? Again, in a democracy, the responsibility lies on the people, right? The responsibility, you get what you deserve. The kind of government you get is what you had voted for, right? I mean, you cannot blame anyone. So the responsibility to make the right decision, and the twin responsibility of living to the consequence, somewhat like the law of karma. We are free to act, but once we've acted, once we put that energy into motion, it has a life of its own, it has a momentum of its own, it comes, and you know in good ways it ends up uh, us coming together one Sunday here together for a satsang. That also is because of something we had done, right? Some energy in motion, but also in not so pleasant ways. So that responsibility of action of what has happened is very important. And um, we can't cry about it. It just means a little being a little more grown up about it, right? I mean, I did something, something has happened. Now we have to be more resilient. As master again said, be tough. Under maybe hundreds of years back, when there is a king, if you're being oppressed, what do I do? Fate. ऐसा we say कि ऐसा ही हमारे कर्म है. But in a democracy, that escape is closed. You can't blame anyone, especially as in life. While we may be happily blaming family members, especially bosses in offices, colleagues, work culture, etc., etc., but at the end of the day, bottom line is you can't blame anyone else. It is our own magnetism. We have created it. We are attracting whatever we are attracting. So that to first just resign yourselves joyfully, not in a sad way. Resign ourselves that we have to accept the consequences, which means coming back to the previous principle, right decision making then becomes more important, because we can't keep making bad decisions and then just accepting ki, हाँ ठीक है, the consequence is there, I am accepting the consequence. It doesn't work like that. Then make better decisions, right? And then how do we make better decisions? Next important question is, how do we make better decisions? And that is where then comes this entire aspect, which takes us even deeper into the spiritual path. Of course, it works on democracy also, but even more on an individual level and on our spiritual path. The first principle is acceptance. First, accept where you are. Now, if it is a democracy, first you accept that ठीक है अभी ऐसा है. This is the system right now. If it is honest, it is honest. If it is corrupt, if it is corrupt. If my streets are clean, clean, not clean, whatever. How am I? How clean are my internal streets? How pleasant are my gardens in my own mind? It's very important. First, accept. Honestly look in the mirror. And from there on, then comes the next step, which helps even with the process of acceptance. And of course, then trying to improve on that is the ability to observe, the ability to listen without passing judgment. When you start observing, then you start accepting also कि ऐसा है. And you also start accepting, you start recognizing what is wrong and what I need to do to make it right. That power of observation and listening is very important, because unless we do that, we cannot even recognize clearly the reality around us and the reality within us. It is just like, if we have a bad habit and if we have to work on it, the first step is that you should know that you have a bad habit, right? I mean, we discuss this a lot in what are habits and how do you work on them, and how can affirmations help you with habits and change everything, right? First step is, first know that you have bad habit, right? So listen, go more into yourself. And interestingly, this is also one of the niyamas. Swadhyay. Swadhyay is nothing. It is study, of course, study of scriptures, which is also equally valid, because you need to you need to also know what people who have realized have said, but then also study yourself. And as we study ourselves more and more, we come to realize that there is a lot of work that is required. It dawns on us. And when that dawns on us, then you start finding out what is the path for me to get better. How do I get better? And that eventually, then, as Master said, it takes us to first, it this desire in us first takes us to books, but then it takes us to a teacher. Now, in case of a democracy, it can be somebody who understands the system, the society better. You can try to look up to them to figure out, is there something that what may be the right course of action as a democratic society. Even Master said that one of the cornerstones of democracy is every individual has equal vote, right? So there is that respect for every individual. But still, when you are deciding what to do, you should very strongly consider the opinion of the thinkers, the people who are, say, scientists, great people, innovators, because their vision is far ahead than what generally people's are. Similarly, we start looking at, or at our for our own personal journey, we start looking for a teacher. In offices, probably that person then starts looking for a mentor. If you can get a mentor, somebody who can tell me how to navigate this system better. For a person who has to do client facing business development, how can I learn to liaise better with clients, how to learn develop better business contacts? Somebody who's in trading, you you would try to find somebody who can help you become a better trader, right? In spiritual path, you start recognizing the need for a spiritual teacher. And we also start to then, spiritual teacher is probably the first step, because now there is somebody, now that we've recognized and accepted where we are, we've recognized and accepted the need for improvement. Now we are beginning to learn from somebody who knows, as a first step, more than me. And then gradually you come to a stage where, as Master says, when God sees that you are really sincere about improving your lot, then he sends a true guru. And at that point of time, when the true guru comes, guru is nothing but the one who dispels darkness, and guru is just a vehicle for God. That now you're ready, you're willing. If you were not ready, if you were not willing, God would not have wasted. Gurus, masters don't really have time to waste. They wait for you. When you are ready, then I'm there. It's just like, little children. If there is no homework deadline, if there is a deadline, then parents will of course drill on them. But if there's no deadline and you're trying to teach something to a child, if the child is not in that frame of mind to, then you will not waste your time, right? You have, as parents, you have a lot of work to do. But when the child is in that frame of mind, then you will sit down and say, okay, now I can teach you. Same for us. And then once we have a teacher, once we have a guru, or people in society who we feel we can look up to, for as in a democracy, then comes the final step of, then continuous learning requires keep taking feedback, keep looking into yourself. Swadhyay and learning from the guru goes hand in hand. Because if you don't, if this is not a feedback cycle, if we don't learn and then see how it fits into my life, then there is no improvement which is going to happen. It will just be just something we've learned. Somebody is trying to teach me something, or something I have read in a book, whether it is spiritual or social. There's nothing actionable, as we like to call it these days. There's nothing actionable which is there. And um, these principles, I feel, are equally valid in all walks of life. And as an individual, while we may be looking at these as principles or systems, but at the end of the day, this concept of democracy, this concept of free will, actually, if you look at it, goes at a much deeper level. Master has said that till every desire is offered, till every aspiration is aligned to God, God will not come. Even if there is a lingering desire of for anything else, then God will not come. God is a searcher of hearts, as they say. In magnetism, we know that for anything to be successful in anything, if any of your habits, any of your desires, anything, every atom needs to be aligned. Magnetism actually is all the atoms being aligned together. It's like each atom is like a small free will. Everything needs to be aligned, and then the energy will flow to the direction that we want. Of course, the soul is said to be the king on the throne, but right now our souls are not really ruling. And while all our atoms, all our cells have their own individuality, but gradually, as we purify ourselves, we should come to a point where each soul, each atom is aligned, willingly, not being forced, willingly offering energy up to the ultimate goal, which is God realization. And I think that is when a guru can finally say, okay, chalo, right? So, with this, I think I'll call upon Mitesh now to take this discussion forward.
Thank you, Abhijit. I'll just like to pick up from the thread that Abhijit left about the role of the individual in this whole process of spiritual growth and the fact that all of us have free will. It's very clear that there is democracy in every aspect of our life. We have the freedom and the free will to choose, to take decisions. The decisions may be good, bad, right, or wrong, but we do enjoy that free will. And like Abhijit said, Lord Himself has bestowed each individual with free will, and Lord is waiting for our love to be given to God. But they know that that love can come from the individual only and only after we exercise our free will to do so. In fact, in the Gita, it is said that out of 1,000 people, one person decides to seek me. And out of thousands who decide to seek me, one finds me. Now, I know that these statistics can be quite disheartening, but Master said that our odds, our probability is much better to find God. Right? But what does this show? Because we have that free will, we choose and decide the spiritual progress itself. If you see the flyer of the satsang, you will see that there is a group of people. Some of them are moving towards master, and some of them choose to move the other way. And maybe the others are deciding, analyzing, thinking, participating, decision making, voting, whatever it is that they're trying to do, but they are confused and they're not able to decide which way they should be headed to. So clearly, there is democracy in all aspects of our spiritual life, and especially after we choose a guru, unfortunately, we still have our free will to decide whether we want to listen to a guru or not. Think about Gita once again. I don't know how much time it took for Krishna to share all his wisdom in the Gita to with Arjun. Probably a couple of hours. Some people say it's 45 minutes. I'm not quite sure. And Arjun obviously was a yogi. And that is the reason why Guru or Lord Krishna decided to share his wisdom not with anyone else but with Arjun. But imagine at the end of the entire discourse and sharing of wisdom, if Arjun decided not to follow Lord Krishna, what would have happened? He would have chosen not to fight the battle of life, and there would have been absolutely no coercion or force on the part of Krishna to tell Arjun, if you do not do this, I am going to cast you to hell. Arjun was a yogi himself, was a spiritual warrior himself. The whole idea of a guru or Krishna in this case was to awaken that sense of responsibility, that true dharma that each one of us have for ourselves. If it is not our dharma, our guru will not push us in that direction. It is only to awaken the seeds of what is already latent within us and then leave it to us to decide what we want to do. And what do we do with that? With that free will? I may wake up in the morning and I think I'll use my free will, but I don't think I want to energize today. Or I don't think I want to meditate only for today. Or like the example of magnetism that Abhijit gave, that bar of magnet. Some part of us may say, I should really energize because it is good for energy to flow through my system. But then there are so many other mental citizens in my own body who unfortunately have given equal right to decide and participate in the process of deciding what we should be doing. And there is a strong complaint and resistance and revolt by those mental citizens that you should not energize. क्या फर्क पड़ता है, एक दिन मत करो energize, it will not make any difference, you are anyways doing so much. And that's exactly what is happening within us each and every day. And unfortunately, the soul, which should really be the true leader of the mental citizens, is giving away its power in the process. It's giving too much importance to some mental citizens. Why? Because the process within us is completely democratic. And think about think about a society now. The question really is democracy good for spiritual growth or is it not? And all I can say is that the answer is it depends. If you think about a society which is completely democratic, country, state, society, completely democratic, but there is unrest, there is unemployment, there is complete chaos, people are coming out on the streets and fighting or doing protests, there is analysis paralysis, but there is complete democracy. And some people may be happy and it's fine. Some people may be happy in the fact that despite everything going wrong around them, they still have the freedom of speech. They still have the freedom to choose what they should be doing. And think about a different kind of society where there is one powerful leader who decides everything that needs to happen, and there is peace, maybe there is complete harmony, everything is very systematic and structured, and there is complete absence of chaos. But maybe some of your rights are curtailed. You don't get to decide that this is how you're going to operate in certain aspects of your life. Now, despite everything being outwardly very peaceful and harmonious and full of joy, the citizens may or may not be happy, right? Which is why I said that whether democracy is good for spiritual growth or not, it really depends. And what does it depend on? It depends on the state of consciousness of the individual. Again, it keeps coming back to that. And it depends on the mental attitude of each and every one of us. And that is why the role of guru is so, so important, because it is the guru who really understands what is it that is going to help you to achieve freedom and expands your consciousness in such a way that you then decide out of your own free will and out of your discrimination that I need to be obedient to the guru. And when you decide to lay your obedience to the guru and cooperate with the guru in this way, many people think that if I go to a guru and if I listen to everything that he says, where is my freedom? But before that, all that we are really doing is completely acting by our whims and fancies and our desires and habits and our attachments and delusions. But when we go to a guru and we try to align our will with that of the wisdom guided will of the guru, our will becomes free in the process, free from all the things that I mentioned earlier. Why free? Because only then now all my molecules, like Abhijit said, are aligned towards marching towards that freedom, which is all that the guru wants us to do and nothing else. And many people again talk about, why can't I stand on my own 2 feet, and like everything else in life, I learn, I go through the trials and tribulations, and I can just progress on my own. But do people think like this when it comes to, let's say, learning music? Do people think like this when they think about learning cricket or badminton or something which requires the guidance of an expert to help you? So when it comes to all of these other mundane aspects of life, when it is accepted principle that I need a coach, I need the experience of someone else to be able to guide me, then why is there any doubt that that is in fact the most important thing on the spiritual path? The whole spiritual journey is so complex. We It's almost like we're all in a dense forest, or we are trying to climb up a tall mountain, and we are going about the whole process on our own without any guide, without any help. And suddenly, unfortunately, we realize that I am completely lost. The forest is so dense. I know there is a beautiful lake behind. I know once I scale the top of the mountain, the entire world and its beauty will reveal itself to me. But I'm completely lost. And at that point of time, if a local village boy comes along and says, I have been traveling this path for eternity. From the time I was born, I know each and every nook of the forest. I can simply guide you. Do we then think, no, 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 I don't think I should use this guy's help. Let me go back to the beginning again, to the start of the path, and then decide whether I should find some other guru for help? We never do that, right? When we are suffering from any ailment or disease and we go to a doctor, the doctor gives us medicine. Do we really tear up the prescription immediately and think about, let me go to some other doctor? It may sound very stupid if we do that, but think about what many of us do even after coming to a guru. We do question, is this thing right for me? Maybe this aspect of what has been told doesn't apply to me. There is this tendency of the carping mind to always question, and challenge, right? And ultimately, it goes back to the state of consciousness that you are in. And even as devotees, it's very important for us to realize that we should not go about sharing the teachings with someone who is not ready, the philosophy or the concepts with someone who is not ready. There is this whole school of thought on how democratic is truth. Why aren't the great teachings available for anyone and everyone to come and simply embrace? But the fact of the matter is, if you go and start sharing these teachings with someone who is not ready to receive it, in the process, we are only affirming their ignorance, especially if that is rooted in their ego. Swami Kriyananda, it is said, would wait for years and years before sharing his wisdom with someone who he felt was not ready, because he knew that if the wisdom is shared with someone and it's a bit premature, he would only turn that person away from the spiritual path, and that person could then be lost for incarnations. Which is why it's very important for us to really tune into, is the other person really ready to receive the concepts and the philosophies which we are all very eager to share? And it's very natural, right? Imagine if we were born in a cave which is completely dark, right? You just don't know what light feels like, and someone comes along and tells you that, light is beautiful, it's vibrant, and you're able to see the whole world and people in all clarity, etc. What good is that going to do? That person is not going to appreciate because he's never ever experienced light. However, if you take a matchbox and produce a light, everything, the darkness is going to vanish completely. And that is what is needed from each one of us. What we need to share as much as possible with other people is our guru's vibrations, our vibrations of light, love, and joy, because the concepts are not going to help them. I remember there was a time way back, this is before I formally came to the spiritual path. I was in a hospital, I was in a terrible situation, and the only thing that helped me at that point in time is I started thinking about Gayatri Mantra. And every time, literally speaking, when I thought about Gayatri Mantra, my blood pressure came down. And those moments when fear came over and I did not think about Gayatri Mantra, the BP started to go up right in front of me. And the only reason why I was able to tune into Gayatri Mantra even at that point in time is because as a kid, once I had seen my aunt, my one of my masis, she was battling with cancer, and I had gone to see her in the hospital, and she was struggling with a lot of pain. And she was the one who told her family members, please play the Gayatri Mantra because I'm in terrible pain. And when the music started, she was lifting her arms up in joy despite going through that terrible pain. And I don't think I would have been able to think about Gayatri Mantra had I not seen what my Masi had gone through. Right? So that is all that we need to do. Vibrations are the most important thing. And in our darkest hours, when there is nothing else that is going to help us, when we are completely desperate, that is when perhaps all aspects of our being will willingly surrender to a master and tell, Master, please help me because I have lost my way. I don't think I know where I'm going. And I need your guidance and I need your support. Right? And when you have lived life long enough, and I'm just 41, so I don't know why I'm sounding so desolate and crestfallen, but when you have lived life long enough, you tend to realize that your life is ultimately about a process of surrender. Right now, it is up to us to choose whether we surrender to Maya or we choose to surrender to a higher power or that of master or god. Because surrender to karna hi hai. Eventually all your citizens and kingdoms etc will have to lay their arms after you tried everything to garner the forces together. You have to lay the arms and surrender, and the only thing that we can do is to make best use of that democratic right which has been given to us, to simply make that choice on who we need to surrender to. So let's hope from today onwards, every single day, every single moment, we make that right choice. Jai Guru.